Seriously, who am I in all of this color? Like, and it's not even that it looks bad, because that's not the point. It's just, who is this? Who is this person? I don't know her. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a list of items that I bought knowing that I didn't like them. And there's a couple of different reasons why some of these purchases happened, but yeah, I am just kind of like struggling and chewing on the idea that I was shopping compulsively and getting to some of the reasons why I was buying the things that I was buying. If you notice, I'm probably, like, if you have been with my channel for a while, you know that this is a lot of color going on now, to the point where I almost look weird looking at myself on camera. This is going to be one of them. We'll talk about it. But if you're new here, welcome or welcome back. This is the second iteration now of my channel. We're still titled KW Shops for the moment. But if you're new, I worked in the luxury resale industry for a decade, and here on YouTube I shared my insights about the industry that I thought that you guys buying the things would enjoy or feel serviced by knowing. And yeah, that was because I had a shopping addiction. So here is where we're working through that. I'm doing a no-buy for 2025, and we're unpacking some of the ideas, behaviors, and just other random things about consumerism and how it impacts us. Trying to change my relationship with consumerism, because I think it's one of the only relationships that I've really had and fostered over the course of my life, and this is an exploration of that. So if that sounds interesting to you, if it's something that you'd like to check out, then please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm. And oh, important thing to bear in mind about the things I'm going to talk about here. Sometimes you buy things and maybe it doesn't work out. Maybe you change your mind on it. Maybe it becomes not your style, or it's like not comfortable anymore. Whatever. That is kind of not what I'm getting at with these things I'm about to talk about. With these items, I bought them knowing full well that they were not my style, that I didn't like them. And in an effort to continue to shop, I tried to find items in styles that I didn't like that would work for, that might be better suited to my tastes. Think about that and then reflect on how much that doesn't make sense. So with my addiction to shopping, right? I've mentioned before how a lot of what got me away from luxury was the idea that some of the items, most of the items that have been made and released, and a lot of the styles and the silhouettes, are ugly. And I'm not saying ugly to be mean. I'm saying that they are not congruent with things that we classically thought of as flattering. Things used to be flattering. Like, the idea of a garment was to flatter your shape. And now flatter or make more beautiful means something different to everyone, but there's kind of an idea that most of us were striving for in some way. What I found that 2022, the year that the wheels fell off for me, I guarantee you it's the year I bought this. I guarantee it. I found that in spite of the fact that I knew that I didn't like a lot of the items that were being released, I ended up purchasing some of them anyway, and I find that absolutely fascinating. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So a couple of years ago, I did a video on how to reach purse peace, and it's really interesting because a couple of months later, I had my haul of 2022, where the wheels of my shopping and my luxury shopping in particular just completely like fell off. And there was a point where I acknowledged, especially with my bag collection, a sense of contentment. I didn't need any more bags, and I knew that. Like, I knew that intellectually, that I had all of my bases covered. It's difficult to assess like needs when it comes to luxury goods, especially now that my mindset on it has shifted. But when you think of the basic categories that a person may desire, we'll just say desire, you'd want a work bag, a travel bag, a going out bag, an everyday bag. What was the fifth one? There was a fifth one, I forgot. But suffice it to say, by that point, I had all of those bases covered. I had options that I loved. So the contentment with my collection just resulted in kind of a boredom. It felt like stagnation. What I was searching for at that time was novelty. It was novelty, because the fact is that even with that, you know, collection of bags that I had, most of them were going unused because we didn't have a very vibrant social life around that time. So I wasn't using the bags, right? But acknowledged that I had enough, and then I went to go buy more because I was in it. Okay, and we have to also acknowledge that I was inundated with a new crop of designer bags daily. for 40 hours a week. Which, like, that's so a factor. That's to say, don't make your hobby your job. Don't do it. You'll grow to hate it. So I was on a continuous hamster wheel of consumerism, constantly adding items to my cart, constantly scrolling through the reel, constantly finding things to buy, because that was how I entertained myself. And this goes back to this video, but the idea that you don't like red lipstick is because you haven't found the right one. This is just a mindset that creates an endless quest to fulfill a purpose that is not even really truly important to you. And this is something that I think we all need to get away from. If in the back of your head, you know that the things that are marketed, that people are trying to sell you are not things that suit you, then I think we all, myself foremost, we need to do a better job of listening to that, listening to our own tastes, our own needs, our own lifestyles, and, you know, just be cognizant and accepting of the fact that this is just a ploy to keep us spending money, ultimately. It's not that you don't like red lipstick. You just haven't found the one that works for you. I think that's how we got here. It's not that you don't like whatever the item is. It's that you haven't found the right one. You should buy one. Like, no. We can acknowledge when we don't like something, and we don't have to put ourselves on a never-ending quest to buy things that we don't like, to find a style that we don't like that works for us. And that's exactly what I was doing with all of these things. So I've talked about shoes being ugly before, talked about it at length. This is not new material for me. So which is why I'm gonna say, and it should not offend or surprise any of you, I hate Birkenstocks. I hate the earth shoes, the clunky, ugly shoes. It's never been my thing. I don't like them. I don't like them, and I never have. I don't like Crocs. I don't like Birkenstocks. I don't like Yeezy anything, slides. I think that clunky, ugly, bulbous, rotund, bizarre shoes are weird and not flattering, and I don't want to wear them. So why do I have these? Now, while I don't believe that these necessarily are a sin against God, they're not, first of all, I do use them a lot. I use them to like walk the dog, but like they are ugly and I feel ugly in them. Except that the times when I wear them are times when I acknowledge that my duty, my role, my goal, and my effort is not in being beautiful. So like, that's why I wear these. I don't know if any of that made sense, but these are from Reef, and they're like platform, two-strap, whatever. They have the cork on the inside, so I'm not going to show you what they look like because I think that it looks really gross. It looks gross. They look old and gross, and I bought them, and I wear them all the time. But like, this, I think I probably bought these last year for like $90, and it was because I was bored and found, or I guess I happened across like an online ad somewhere, and these didn't look as gross and weird and bulbous and earthen I'm so sorry, as the normal shoes that I see out on the street every day. So I got these because, oh, this is my version of that. And it's like, I didn't need a version of Birkenstocks. I spent $90 on a pair of shoes that I don't even like. You know what? Oh my God, here's a new idea. We're going to add up the amount of money I've spent on these couple of things. Okay, we're gonna start. $89 for Reef sandals. Okay, so this next thing is something I've talked about a lot because it super annoyed me immediately after like I guess posted the video. So if you have been with my channel for a while, then you would have heard me speak about this. But this is the pink moment. Working where I worked, most of the people that I worked with like really loved color, and it was. And the nature of the work that I was doing was in the fashion space. Obviously, it was in the resale market, and you know there was some like personal opinion and personal taste that did play a role in how I presented items. Okay, and part of that is in acknowledging that I did not like to wear color. I just didn't, and I had accepted that about myself. But in being surrounded and kind of like, I don't want to say questioned or like undermined, or that's not the right way to express it. But it was like kind of. It felt a little incongruent with like it felt a little incongruent with my surroundings to not wear color, as well as not liking Hermes, as well as, you know, a whole bunch of other things, but we'll have to set that aside for later. I got it into my head that maybe I should give color a try, and I did. And guess what? We had the pink moment. I'm gonna show you all of these outfits that I put together to like bring some color into my wardrobe because I was bored, and I don't even know how to explain. I wasn't trying to fit in necessarily, but it was more like giving myself something to do. It was like, maybe if I style these outfits outright, then I'll find a way to incorporate more color. And after posting that video, I realized how I was thinking, I was thinking to myself, like, what is the importance or significance of incorporating color into my wardrobe? What do I get out of that? And perhaps for some of you, there is some internal sense of fulfillment you get from doing things with your wardrobe. And another way we know, I didn't like fashion. Now, of course, it's not that the outfits didn't look good. It's not that I didn't look good in the color. It's not like, you know, it didn't like suit my skin tone or whatever. I think it was relevant that I had nowhere to go in any of these clothes, but it just didn't suit me. Like, that's not me. That's not me. That's not, who is that? Who is that person? And of course, it doesn't help that this was before the whole like lead up to the Barbie movie came out, but P.S. like, let's not make a movie another excuse to buy outfits again. That was very weird. I hope we dump that collectively, but I digress. Yeah, so like this pink color, like I've never, even from the time I was a little kid, never liked the color pink. Never, like ever. And it just didn't jibe with like my conception of myself and my own tastes. And it just really, and I think about how much money I spent on all of these pink clothes, because I was like trying to reinvent myself and just find some interest or some novelty in my wardrobe, and how much effort I was putting in for this purpose that I didn't actually care about. And yeah, like, which is why I think that it's really important to understand that your sense of self and your sense of your own taste, and whether you love fashion or whether there's a degree that you do enjoy it or not, like, the things that you have should suit your needs and suit your tastes. And while I am no longer participating in fashion as a hobby, like, I am still capable of expressing like taste and preference through the clothing that I wear. I hope that I haven't lost that anywhere in this discourse, but this just wasn't it. And every time I see it, I get mad at myself. Okay, next, I'm sure some of you see this coming, small bags. Why was I buying small bags when I don't like small bags? And I know I don't like small bags, and I've never liked small bags. Why did I buy so many small bags? I remember thinking that perhaps, once again, it's not that I don't like small bags, I haven't found the right one that suits me. So let's go on a mission and buy a pink plastic Chanel tote that fits a phone and a key. It was cool. It was cool. I will like, okay, I'm not gonna discredit, that was a very cool bag, but it's not something that I needed to have, and it's certainly not something that I needed to spend $600 on. Oh, we gotta get back to my tally. 600 Chanel. But just really quickly, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I have crapped on small bags a lot over the course of my channel. So I went back and watched like some of the videos that I posted from that time in 2022, and I saw this white stowed bag, and I didn't even remember that I had bought that. That bag is like $300 or $400 or something. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure how much it is, but like I didn't remember that I bought that. But let me be the one to say it. That's not okay. You should remember when you're dropping like hundreds of dollars on leather goods. I think I probably carried it one time, sold it off, you know, relatively quickly because I don't need a bag that size. And rather than accepting that about myself, I went on a mission to go find the one that was right for me. And truly, the other style that I hate from now is like the short strap, like baguette style bag. I've never liked that. I will never like that. And I should have remembered that before I bought one. So here are perfumes and candles. I've been super sensitive to smells my entire life, and I've never been a perfume wearer. And I just for a while accepted that about myself until my shopping got out of control, and you can hear me say it again, I convinced myself that I hadn't found the right one for me. Like, obviously there are entire channels and entire sub niches that are centralized around perfume and scents and smells because they're hobbyists, that's what they love, that's what makes them feel joy, and I don't want to take that away from anyone. But for those of us who have sensitive noses, those of us who get migraines easily, those of us who just like I smell everything. I smell everything. I have a dog nose. I feel sometimes suffocated by putting a smell on me and smelling it all day. Like it's like distracting to me, honestly. And I would love to know, some of you who are maybe more into perfume than I am, like, what's the appeal? Because I don't get it. On a bad scenario, it gives me a headache. On a good scenario, I am annoyed. So you'd think that I wouldn't have a collection of perfumes. I have 4, I believe. Don't quote me. I have 4 perfumes that I bought because I wanted to buy something. I wanted to experience a new product. I wanted novelty. I was bored. I, again, was trying to like find a new genre of things to buy. This was also true of candles, and I feel a little bit differently now about like home scents and like room scents, but I could have very easily, between Diptyque and like a random Walgreens candle that I love for some reason. I love it. But between Diptyque, that one, the Jonathan Adler one I talked about in my recap, my first recap video, between all of those, I probably spent $1,000 on candles over the course of like 2 years. And I don't like candles that much. And like, candles are another thing that you burn up the wax, and like, what do you do with the pot? People say, oh, you make a new candle. That's like, well, I don't need another I don't need a candle. So I stopped buying them. But as a person who has acknowledged their entire life that scents are a really sensitive subject, I own 4 or 5 perfumes and have spent $1,000 on candles. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. If you have any thoughts or comments about candles and about scents and about perfumes and what they do for you, because I'm, again, truly at a loss, please comment that down below. So next up is the idea of mule sandals. I've never liked them. And over the years, I've probably bought like 5 or 6 pairs. I just have to accept, or well, I guess now is a little too late, but I should have accepted sooner that I wasn't into the fashion. I didn't like it, and that was okay. What I realize now is that I wanted to keep shopping, and that's how I found myself buying things that I didn't even like. I have never liked mule sandals, I would say, for the most part. Or like, no, there may have been like 1 pair of mule heels that I bought in high school or something like that. But I don't know, I like an ankle strap, I like a slingback. Shoes used to be my thing, and like the idea of just like a thing across the toe, especially in a heel form, it just felt very like I don't even know how to say it, like kitschy, or like very, I don't know, like Simple Life with Paris Hilton and what's her name? Nicole Richie, is that her name? I think that's her name. So mules bring me back to the exact time period that I never want to revisit. And that's the 90s and the early 2000s. And I hate them. So, except that if you look around, one of the more popular styles of shoes that have been available for the last couple of years, from Zara to, I don't know, Gucci, have been mules, have been slides. And it was kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, if you want to participate, then you have to like let go of some of your preferences. You kind of have to like downgrade your preferences. You have to settle. And I remember actually, oh my God, I remember that, and I even posted a reel of this, that I wanted a new pair of shoes. I wanted a new pair of shoes. Why did I want a new pair of shoes? Okay, I'm gonna show you the video here. So I lifted this off my own TikTok, but it has music in the background, so I can't use it here in this YouTube video. This shopping trip was in April 2022, and I was looking around and I could not find anything that I actually liked. I set myself a budget for between $700 and $1,000, and with that, I wasn't able to find a pair of shoes that suited me in any way. I fully acknowledged at the time that I didn't like mules, but my desire for having a new thing overrode my tastes and my own preferences. Perhaps a person who doesn't have a shopping addiction would have just not bought anything, but instead, I spent $90. We never assessed if I needed a new pair of shoes. We never assessed what the shoes were for. So there was no need for me to buy a new pair of shoes, but I spent hours, and in the end, $100 wandering the mall to find a new pair of shoes for literally no reason. What I ended up with was a pair of like almost like mule clog sandals with like a sort of like reminiscent of like the Bottega, in that they were puffy in the front. And I still have them and I wear them from time to time because they're not like that, bulbous and weird. But like just listening to myself say, I haven't liked the shoes, I don't like any of these shoes, but I want a pair. It sounds crazy and ridiculous. Really, like the idea of like the pool slide or the like whatever, I don't find them attractive. So why do I have like 6 pairs of them? So I have a segment on my Chanel shoes, but I think that I want to talk about my indoctrination into Chanel on its own, because that's like a whole other thing. It's another brand that I realized I don't actually like. If you haven't seen my de-influencing Chanel video, then I invite you to check that out. I kind of like dive into the elements of the brand that I could not point to a single thing on it other than the woven chain that I actually liked. But after I spent all that money on Chanel bags, I realized that I don't actually like Chanel. And yeah, check out that video if you haven't already, but we'll talk about that separately, but just know that that's coming. And finally, we have the colorful elephant in the room. This is a matching set, silk set from Emilio Pucci. I bought this on the Real probably in the dark year, and I hate it. I hate it so much, and I believe, no, I am 100% certain this is the most money I've ever spent on an article of clothing in my life. In my life. And I can't stand the sight of it on my body. What became very popular a couple of years ago was the matching set, and while I love jumpsuits, and for a while I couldn't wear them, I used to have overactive bladder, and that just meant that, like, you know, getting out of them to go to the bathroom is really finicky. The problem has gotten better over the years, so I like am able to wear them now. But like a matching top and bottom set, I always love the idea of. And except that when you do that too much, or do it like this, I feel like I look like I'm wearing pajamas. I feel like I look like I'm wearing pajamas, and you will not be able to convince me that this is not pajamas. Some people can look cute in these type of deals. I feel like I'm going to bed. And it does not help that they're really silky and really, not silky, but like they're made of silk and they're really smooth to touch, and I feel like I'm ready to crawl into bed with these, and I shudder to think about how much I spent on these. I'll put it up on screen. Clothing and with fashion, like, not to say that anyone has like normal proportions, because normal is not a thing. For me, my body type, I have extraordinarily long arms, broad shoulders, big hair, long legs, but I'm not like super tall, but my legs are long, and what else? And I like to wear heels. For whatever reason, as much as I don't like this, this feels like it was tailored specifically for me. I can honestly tell you that I have never experienced a blouse that sits at my shoulder the way this does, as well as is the right length for my arms. Because on the Real they put the measurements on as a part of the description, and I think I saw the pants first. So I saw the pants first, and I saw the inseam length, and I was like, oh my god, this is the right inseam length for me. And then I was searching for, you know, the matching set, because with Emilio Pucci, they'll have a different print for every collection, or a different set of prints for every collection. So they'll make multiple pieces from the same fabric. So they probably make a dress in this print. They probably make a, I don't remember, dress, other things. And so I was searching for the top, or a top that I could wear with it as well. Because the idea was to have something that looked like a jumpsuit, but not be a jumpsuit. And I found something that was specially tailored for my, almost literally specially tailored for myself and for my own proportions and preferences. And in constantly feeling like nothing is ever perfect for me, nothing is ever right for me, once I finally came across something that was, I felt like the immediate response was that, well, I have to buy it, obviously. And I didn't have to do this. Okay, the other thing I want to consider as well is that Emilio Pucci is a classic Italian designer. Like a Pucci print is something that's really reminiscent of like the 60s and 70s. And I love that era, I love that time period fashion-wise, and I used to seek a lot of inspiration from it. But remember what I said earlier, I don't like color. I don't like color. This, as far as Emilio Pucci goes, is not very colorful. I don't like color, I especially don't like pastels, and I don't like paisley. And this is an example of me finding something from a designer that I like in a print that, you know, would have been cool. It met more of my specifications. Like, again, this isn't ugly looking. I actually appreciate how it looks. It's just, it's not right for me. I'm not her. I'm not her. The proportions are perfect. The material is great. The pattern is beautiful. The colors are not too much, but, oh, and I have the money for it. It's 5 reasons to buy it. But the most important one is that I look and feel ridiculous. Not, okay, ridiculous is an overstatement. I don't like this. How do the stars align in such a way where all of that can be right, but it still doesn't work? I will never wear this. I will never wear this. I've worn the pants one time, and really, you're wearing $300 pants. Why? Well, one day I probably will send this off to like the Real or something, but I have never, like, this is the first time I'm wearing it for this video, and like, again, tell me I'm not sat here. Tell me I'm not sat here in my PJs. Tell me that like this is an outside outfit. No, it's not. This is not an outside outfit. And I spent like $500 on this. That's embarrassing. Okay, so I don't know what to make of any of this except that I guess the purpose of this is being introspective and understanding like why I was shopping. The overarching theme seems to be that I was buying things because buying things was my activity. And when I stopped liking the things, I still kept buying because buying was my activity. So in my new, in this new phase, I'm trying to find other things to do that don't just revolve around buying. And also being honest with myself and what interests me and what I like. So we've learned that maybe I don't actually like fashion. We've learned that maybe you don't need to buy shoes if you don't need shoes. That's a revelation that we've made. I truly am like shuddering at the idea that it was normal in my head to say, I want a new pair of shoes, but I can't find one. Let me keep looking. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have anything that you have either changed your mind about or anything in your wardrobe or collection that you've grown to hate over the years, then I'd love to hear about it. Let me know what your thoughts are on this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.